Hello, welcome again to the Waffle Press Movie Podcast. I am your host, Diego Crespo. With me today, as always, I have my co-hosts, Nick Valero, Gina Aversa. Whoa. Calm your horses. I know it's been a while, but I want to introduce everyone. I want to get like a nice little roundtable discussion. I'm very excited because it's Halloween season, and I love Halloween. Nick, do you like Halloween?
Oh, I fucking love Halloween, man.
What am I doing? You're distracting me again. I'm trying to introduce people. Gina Aversa.
Don't ask me questions.
Gina Aversa.
Hey, how you doing?
Emma,
King
sound
Halloween.
engineer.
Woo!
Hello.
And a very, very special guest, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I am great. You're friends with my friend Gene.
Yeah.
I am friends with your friend Gene, the King of Halloween.
Yeah.
King of Halloween.
Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, no. Where does that nickname come from?
It's been his nickname since birth.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
we
much.
just didn't know it. Okay.
Right.
So thank you, Woodrow, for joining us. Just a little backstory. After I believe it was the fall of 2015. After graduating, my first PA gig was on a little movie that turned into a big movie, Awaken the Shadowman, and you were the producer on Awaken the Shadowman and took me under your wing. Learned a lot from you. Great mentor, and the movie just came out on July. It was in theaters, VOD,
Yep.
and it's on iTunes as well. And it even has a horror attraction. And everyone could see it. How does that feel, man?
It's bittersweet, man. It's really good. I love the film itself, and it was a story about my early childhood. So it's personal, but there's some painful moments in the movie for me, but it also garners attention. So it's incredible, man. It's a good success story so far.
Yeah, definitely. It was crazy to see how much it blew up. It was all...
And hey, thank you for the kind words. You also did just a ton of great shit for us, and we're a super team player. You took like thousands of pictures that we've all seen. You did a lot of like social media stuff as well. So
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I appreciate it. We've kept in contact, and you've came to all the events and everything. And yeah, man, I'm a fan of yours too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, but yeah, really proud of being on the team.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gene, what exactly did you do on the movie?
I was a PA, so PA, a production assistant. If anyone doesn't know, you make runs, you do errands. I also took photos I got some behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I was like a fly on the wall. I was like I compare it to kind of like Almost Famous. I was like the guy in Almost Famous, the Cameron Crowe character. So yeah,
Very cool.
it's kind of like my.
You just compared yourself to a Cameron Crowe character. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
Gene, I'd like to start by giving a shout out.
Mhm.
I've got a few people I'd like to give a shout out
Sure.
to.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to my brother, Seth Hancock,
So
Hancock. Also like to give a shout out to Sonny Black, one of my biggest players in the game. James Zimbardi, part of the cast, lead actor in the movie. Marissa Zintars, first AD. I'd like to give a shout out to Brandon Killingsworth. A lot of people know him. Wilberta Bright, if she's listening. Also to my mother, you have to say hello, Rosa Hancock. To Bobby Cameron and Eileen O'Shea. Cameron on the line. Big shout out to them. RIP to my father, Woodrow Wilson Hancock Jr. I'd like to also give a shout out to Skylar Caleb. He was also kind of in the movie.
Mhm.
Carlos Pineda. Big ups. You guys know this one, Anthony C. Ferrante with a C, a capital C.
we've had him on before.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yeah. It was in
Yeah,
July.
okay, all right. Derek Schroeder. Shout out to Derek. Oswaldo Brainer. Huge fan base overseas. My mother, Rosa Hancock, how about that? I'm going to drop her again. Jared Sanders. I want to also mention Luis Torres while I'm at it. There's a guy named Bear Bright. He's a police officer. I'm going to say what's up to him. Andrea Killingsworth. Love her. Frank Whittet, you know who you are. Boricua Morena. Melanie Sanders. Can we talk about it? I want to give a shout out to Melanie Sanders. Brittany Torres. She's going to also get a nice shout out.
Of course.
Frank Clayton Kaufman. Thanks for the love. Let's say Wally Killingsworth. I want to say what's up. Frank Pesh, big name in the game. Larry A. McLean, just like Anthony C. Ferrante, middle initial A. Larry A. McLean. Shout out to Larry. Mike Pennick. What up, Mike? I want to give a big shout out to Michelle Barbic Smith. 2 last names, Latina. Chris Telas Titi, Greek son of a bitch. Billy Bright, love for you to hear this. Engelbert Carrillo, nice shout out to Engelbert Carrillo. Also, Chris Nunez, we all know who that is. Gene, you have no idea.
Oh. sounded familiar.
Nick Smith. I'm going to give a shout out to Nick Smith. Also want to mention Ryan Kendrick. Nobody replies faster on social media. Motherfucker. Ryan Kendrick. Fabio Viviani. That accent, though. And last but not least, we could say it together, Gene, you and I. A nice shout out, Kara Michelati.
Oh, Kara is awesome.
Oh, okay. Thought you were going to drop a little knowledge on us.
Oh. I mean, yeah. Kara was one of the other PAs. She was the head PA, and yeah. I'm hoping that the list was long enough. Is that okay? Oh no, it's cool, man. Of course, yeah.
Most people get on with a longer list, or
no, we have a whole section devoted to lists. So we just got that out of the way. I mean,
yeah,
definitely.
That's great.
And that's it, right? That's the podcast. We're done.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
No, but I have a lot of respect for what you just did. You want to shout out all the hardworking people you worked alongside with, who are just as passionate as you, I assume.
Yeah.
And much respect to you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So Woodrow, kind of change gears. We all saw the film. Awaken the Shadowman. Can you talk a little bit about kind of writing the script and developing it? Because I want to say I think you wrote it like in 2013. You're getting funding throughout the years. It's like an indie producer. Can you spread some knowledge on that?
For sure, man. So basically, we wrote it in the late 2014 into 2015, and like really late, just almost like by New Year's. And so then we were in production 6 months later or less after we were finished the writing process. But we had already had the financing in place, and a lot of the balls moving in development. So yeah, so it was a story based on my childhood, my early childhood, and the 2 lead actors in the film, in addition to myself, all 3 of us co-wrote this. So, I'm not taking full credit here by any means, but the foundation of the film, the two missing brothers in search, 2 brothers in search of their missing mother, is kind of like my story. Yeah. So that was the foundation for the film. And we built from that. And the film obviously speaks for itself and has its own story. It's not just 100% Woodrow's, biography, but,
right.
Yeah, so that's the writing process kind of started there, and a lot of us have interest in supernatural or experience in supernatural. Skylar's a witch. I'm kidding, and so that was the development process. We wrote the thing in just about 6 months, just maybe a little more than that.
Okay, and can you talk about you had a lot of how'd you get Anthony on the film? Because he's a pretty prominent dude. Do you want to talk about bringing producers on, just on the journey towards getting into production?
Sure. Yeah. We had a number of producers that were good. Anthony, for sure, one of them that we signed to the film. Another one, Trevor Baker, who's he did Breaking Bad. If you guys are familiar with that.
Oh, love that show.
Yeah, great show. So he was also producing on this. We had a number of other lower level producers, but so we got, Anthony's a friend of Skylar's and Trevor's a friend of mine. So, in working together, we had meetings about it up front. We told them kind of where the movie was going and the timeline and who we were working with and what we thought of it. They both liked the script a lot. They both, are friends of ours and kind of agreed to be signed on the film, and still today are on the journey with us. So
yeah,
a lot of respect.
definitely. And you guys got some some big names. Gene Smart's in the film. We have Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration, Robbie Schaefer. How cool is that to have these notable actors in the film?
Super cool, man. Very, very nice. Gene is just. You guys share the same name.
Yeah. I told her that on set. I was like, but you spell it with a G. So.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, she's fantastic. Really, just no matter what. This is an independent film. It's not a studio film. There's no one's got their own trailer. It's not the red carpet being rolled out every minute you're on set, and she totally rolls with that and is fine. I've worked with her before in my a couple of past movies. My last one that I did, Waking, she also played, ironically, Skylar's mother, because
Really?
Skylar was also in that. Yeah. So she was kind of used to the role, I guess. I don't know. But she came on and just, she did a couple of pickup days with us, too, in addition to principal photography. Just wonderful to work with, easygoing, sweet, funny. Also, Bob Vance Refrigeration. For him, he is cracking jokes nonstop.
Yeah.
Nonstop jokester. Everyone's talking about, of course, The Office, but he just got a really chill, good vibe. Him and my brother, and myself really, really vibe well.
Yeah.
And click. He's a funny kid.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Seth at the premiere did an Instagram story with he did the Office theme, and then he was he did one with a video with Robbie.
Yep.
Yeah. On the red carpet. So, yeah, really cool. Any producing independent film that's like an art form in itself. Do we have any kind of behind the scenes stories that we could share with people? Just kind of on production, like getting like house, getting the house, or like just kind of hustling to make the best movie possible.
Dude, for sure. Basically, man, we have like the house that we ended up getting was an Airbnb, and isn't very traditional for filming. Usually, you go through like location services and stuff, or sets. So it was not traditional at all, and we couldn't find the right house we were looking for, and we didn't want to leave the state of California. So we actually cheated the location to look like Santa Barbara County, but in fact, it was in a city just north of here, about 30 minutes or so of LA, and La Cañada. And so the house that we found was very challenging to film in because they were currently renting it out to people on vacation. Yeah, and you remember this. So there was an Australian group on vacation, and they were staying at the house while we were filming at the house, and they were just sleeping on set. And so every single day they would, they'd either go out into the city or whatever and came back to the house, and they would kick back and watch the movie being made and ask us if they could use their bathroom that they were renting. We're like, yeah, of course you can use your bathroom. It was challenging because, you've got actual, guests staying at the house, and it was not ideal, but the house was so spooky and creepy, and the allure up on the hill was so. It was perfect for the film. Yeah,
it was a tough walk up there. It was like going up a San Francisco hill or something.
Yeah, we all lost 30 pounds.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, there's that, man. Just trying to think if there's some fun stories that I can share with you.
Did that house actually have that big attic? Or was that a separate location?
That. Yeah, that was not at that attic. That was this, I think, in the filmmaker's commentary, I said this, but that's like the Walmart super center of attics.
Yeah, it was.
That's what I was thinking when I first saw the movie. I was like, I don't think that attic is connected to that house.
Like 3 additional stories.
Yeah.
No, that was a different home altogether. But actually, the house that was a porn house.
Yep, I told one of you guys.
I remember hearing you say something about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a porn house. So they shot, and I don't know how recent the porn was, but it was definitely, from the 90s or 80s or something like that. It's got that vibe for the house. So, but
There were no.
That was the same house that that Glenda, the woman who's kind of like off her rocker, who has the kid who's the charred corpse upstairs. That's that same house.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So,
Yeah.
The best part of about that house, I could say, there were no doors for the restroom. There were just curtains.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
There was?
So it was only curtains for the doors. So you had to put like
house, dude.
Yeah.
It was a progressive home.
And I think you told everyone like don't sit on any of the furniture. Someone said that.
Just don't.
Our lead,
don't show
James
up.
Imbardi, he's a super germaphobe. And now that I think about it, we should have like keyed him in on the fact that this was a porn house.
Oh yeah.
Because it might have like helped his character. But but no, we didn't tell him because we were worried that he would just be, so freaked out to be himself in the environment. So
Right.
who knows what's all over the place.
Well, speaking of the, I guess, unsettling aspect, are there any scary stories from on set? Because I know sometimes when you're making a creepy movie, sometimes the environment can change a little bit. Maybe you're more on edge because you have to be in the zone for something like that.
Dude, for sure. There was a couple times, Gene, you probably have some too, but when the Shadow Man's walking around and you don't know he's walking around, that's super scary. And he's just under 7 feet tall, and he's legitimately as big as he looks, on camera.
Oliver's a tall dude.
Dude, and you would forget what scene you're shooting, because we're not sitting there the whole time as part of the crew behind the camera. We're running around producing whatever, like making calls, doing paperwork, or hustling, whatever. And so you'd walk on set for a minute, forgetting what's going on, and then out of nowhere, you're in this dark environment and you're trying to walk through it and see, forgetting people have the lights low for a reason. And then the Shadow Man's just creeping in the corner. So there's a bunch of that going on where people are nonstop startled. Yeah. But in addition to that, the house that we were filming at, that was the Airbnb, they had, and I wish you could, and you probably can, you throw a picture up with an Airbnb right now. Mm-hmm. If you could see the part that extrudes and like protrudes off of the hill, the house part that kind of looms over the hill, that part was closed off to us. So
that's interesting.
We thought, of course it's just the homeowner's bedroom, but the whole time Airbnb people were staying there, that was locked up. And we thought, okay, first of all, we thought maybe the Airbnb, that's their room. No, it wasn't. So we're like, oh, what's going on? Because we still see it's locked. Maybe it's the homeowner's bedroom. Meanwhile, we hear like you just heard right now, like bangs and and cricks behind that door. Uh-huh. And we're wondering, is someone there? And so we were there for days shooting, and we'd keep listening, and then we'd hear more commotion back behind the doors. I'm like, hold on, is someone literally locked in here for days as we're shooting? Because we're shooting, 12 to 14 hour days. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's people actually living there for their Airbnb, and then there's this locked off section of the house. And we went around the back. This is like day one, and we saw this ladder. And it was on a hill. Of course, the house is. The ladder's on a hill in the back of the house. Really long, really scary looking ladder. Goes up 2 or 3 stories to the very top of the house. And it went to the roof. And then the next day we came back, and it had moved from going to the roof to this like miniature little window on the very top floor, which is part of the area we can't get to. And then there was a point where that window was open and the blinds were raised, and the shutters were blowing in the wind, and the window was open up there, and we heard a bunch of screams from the room, which presumably might be the owner, I don't know, or someone else they're renting the house out to. So the entire time they've got this creepy window in the back and this skinny little ladder going up 2 or 3 stories to the window, to the ground. And we're thinking the only way this person or whatever's living up there comes out is through this tiny window and down a ladder. Jeez. And we're shooting with the Shadow Man at night, and then we've got people who are living there also walking around who we don't know. And then when all this commotion coming from this section of the house, that was probably the creepiest part.
Yeah. And
so sometimes the owner, they would drive up and they would check on the house and how's shooting going and yada, yada, yada. And we're like, okay, we need, process of elimination. It's not her. So we don't know who was in that bedroom. It was super scary, and we're shooting a scary movie. So I don't know. It was the creepiest. Yeah.
Yeah.
To this day, he still doesn't know.
So,
That's like a legitimate horror story.
Yeah.
Saw,
It was.
Tracks
We
in
thought
the-
we should ditch the current script and just wing it with her.
No. See, that's the sequel.
Yeah,
It's a Blair Witch style documentary about the Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Right. So
I actually speaking of of that, I was wondering, were you guys planning on like a sequel or anything like that for Awaken the Shadowman, or was it like a standalone film that you guys just wanted to have it stand on itself?
we definitely saw it as a sequel. We left it open ended too for that. There's a lot of Easter eggs throughout. Say you gave it a second watch, that rewatchability. If you watched it again, you would see that there's a lot of unanswered questions too that we have answers for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely the shot that we're taking right now. We're in the middle of the first quarter right now since the release in July. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, like you said, there were like a couple of like unanswered questions. Like at the very end, I was like, well, "What about this?" Like there was like the Watchers and what was it? And like, what exactly is the Shadow Man? Like, is it just like a cult? Is he a demon? Like I had a couple of questions, and I was like, I kind of hope they have like a sequel to this because I want to know more about these cults and about this like cult-esque group that's just going around making people's lives better, but also like destroying them at the same time. And it was very interesting.
Nice. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It definitely is open for a sequel.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say any kind of like spoilers here for the sequel, but we've got a lot of answers, to come and more questions.
Okay.
So
Nice.
And Anthony's kind of the king of franchising. So we're working with him on some stuff, and we've had a lot of meetings over that. So, but yeah, it was designed to go into it from day one of the first film here to be an introduction to all of these disasters that are happening in this group and the folklore and the mythos of shadow people.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah. One quick thing before we move on to the next topic here. Can you talk a little bit about the Awaken the Shadowman scare attraction that was opening up this season?
Did you say error correction?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was opening up during the Halloween season.
The scare attraction.
Yeah, the scare attraction
Awaken the
for it?
Shadow Man.
Oh, scare attraction.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think you said error correction.
Sorry, no, bad connection.
The Awaken the Shadowman error correction app. So yeah, actually, huge, man. We made some big strides here with the film. We were able to have to target escape rooms. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with escape rooms.
They're a lot of fun.
You've been to a lot of them?
I've been to about 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, dope. Yeah, okay, so you know how they are.
Yeah.
I mean, for everyone that doesn't, a brief overture would be you're locked in a room for an hour and you have to try to get out. And it could be you, it could be 5 of you, 10 of you, friends on like a Friday night or a corporate event with your employment, your employer. So, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes for youth and G-rated to insane, horrifying ones. Ours is not to the X-rated craziness of some of these that I've seen, but yeah. So what we did is we actually partnered with escape rooms. So you're locked in a room for an hour. You have to, through logistics and like puzzles and mind games, try to escape the room through clues, and all the clues are in the room. And sometimes, depending on the room you're in, everyone has their own role, and you all have to kind of play that role to get out. And if you don't, utilize each other and have teamwork, then you don't escape. So what we did is we partnered with multiple escape rooms around the nation to open and Awaken the Shadowman escape room. So we did that. We're out here in Los Angeles. We're in San Jose, NorCal. We have them in Manhattan, New York City.
Oh wow!
And others. Yeah. So, and that's currently running right now since October 1st to the 31st. And there's advertising and commercials and everything out for them. So yeah, we're doing good and excited about them. They're super cool. I went and played one last Thursday, the first one that I played all month.
Yeah. How was that like?
It's great, man.
Yeah.
So much detail too. This is the God's honest truth. They helped me get out because I'm dead serious. They helped me get out.
You got lost in your own movie.
It was embarrassing. I couldn't escape. but the detail was so great. Like they had just literally pulled. It's weird seeing people understand your movie because you're like, hey, wait, those are my thoughts. Like those are my ideas. And then now all of a sudden you're talking about them. And it's like you're in my head or you can see what I'm thinking. And so the one that I played out here in LA it was so well done. And it was so detailed that it kind of like scared me. It was almost like, they were there in the writing sessions and they understood the folklore and they know the history and, it was surreal. Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah, man. So it was really good, really hard, and so hard that I needed help to get out. They had a couple actors in the room that, that are participating for the escape. And so the actors assisted me.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly enough.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, what's that Indiana Jones character who gets lost in his own museum?
Oh, Marcus Brody.
Yeah.
So you pulled up
You're like
Brody.
a real life Marcus Brody. That's amazing.
Oh, shame.
Oh no, Marcus Brody's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant that as a compliment. So my bad if that was not what it was perceived as.
He's like, wait a minute.
I don't know. I've always liked Marcus Brody. I'm been outlining there. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah,
he's cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of interaction with the escape room company to develop and to like give them the lore, or did you just like give them the movie and then they just kind of ran with it?
Yeah, cool. What we did is we actually had kind of like a package for each company, and it wasn't exactly the same because we did different deals with every partnership, but every one of them, they all obviously have the movie, studied the movie, and since we're doing this like a pop-up escape room where they're creating a room for the Halloween season based on the movie, they're adapting ideas that currently exist in a room that they have already that works. So what they would do is the games and some of like the theory and the logistics of the room, they're coming up with all of that. That's not our space. Like we're creative. Don't get me wrong. Like we're in entertainment, we make films, but it's not my forte. So we leave that to them for all the creative, and we help them, and we, props, digital packages, trailer. So what they're doing at a lot of these, and super cool, is they're like showing a team of people who are about to play the trailer, and then they just toss them in there and lock the door. So yeah,
that's how most escape rooms are. They don't tell you anything about it, and they throw you in a room.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking badass. And so sometimes we've got rooms where there's like the movies, based around like shadow people, right? That mythos and sleep paralysis.
Yes.
So we've got rooms where there's a woman laying on a bed asleep, and your goal is to wake her up before the hour is over, before the shadow man comes.
Oh, wow.
And so during that, like as a consequence, if you don't pass, then the shadow man actually does come.
Oh.
Right. So that's interesting because a lot of rooms just open the door and they're like, well, you lost, time's up. So we actually have consequences. And then another one of the rooms, you have to solve the problems and you have to figure out all the puzzles far enough into the game before the 30-minute mark, or else all of the lights shut off and you have to finish in the dark.
That sucks.
Yeah, some cool shit.
That would not be fun.
There's another one. The one that I played over here is really based in the cult. So just really creepy, bizarre, the logos of the cult, the Lawrence from the movie, lots to do with him in there. There's, a lot of strategy. It's really cult based and kind of opens the door for questions and makes you want to see the film afterwards. Yeah. So that's cool. We're hearing a lot of awesome feedback too, where people are trying to figure out that they'll see the film ahead of time, then they'll come play the room, like ready to figure it out.
Yeah.
They know what they're coming to. Watch the movie to come beat it. So
nice.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, man. And we're fucking with the elements a lot because Shadow Man's supernatural.
Yeah,
and that's So he's not in the room like punching people. It's very.
I think that would be very out of character.
Right.
If that was the case.
Yeah. Oh, really quick, guys. Since you're short on time, let's go to pitch a movie. So, Woodrow, pitch a movie. Horror film season. So, I want you to give us 3 suggestions for a horror film, and we'll take a break for a second, and then we'll pitch the movie to you. So, the mic is yours, my friend.
Wait, can you explain this a little more to me here?
Oh,
3 suggestions.
So, like, So any 3 suggestions for a film, like a horror film? Like say if like it has to have like a Shadow Man has to have like a decapitation scene, you know, in the 3rd act someone like eats bees or, you know, does like a Nick Cage thing. So yeah, anything, 3 things you want, and if you
yeah, we would have to come up with a horror movie with those things inside of it, and also have it make sense as well.
So if you like it at the end of this, you'll you know, we'll
you just sign off on it.
Yeah, you just gotta go like I would absolutely
not literally sign off, but
no. Yeah, this is not a legal contract of
or
anything.
is it?
No, it's a game.
We swore him in, right?
No.
So I give you 3 suggestions. You guys, you guys come up with some sort of movie with those 3 suggestions.
Exactly.
Pitch it back to me,
Yes.
and then I greenlight it or not.
Yeah, and the tricky part about it is that we'll all take different sections of the actual movie itself. So Gene, based on how comfortable we feel, we'll pick whether or not we want to do the beginning, the middle, or the end of the movie.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like Mad Libs, but with a movie.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay.
So
Okay, cool.
should
So
we-
let's see here. 3
Yeah.
things.
What would you
Let's
like to
go.
see? In
What's
a horror?
that?
What would you like to see in a horror? I mean, you've already made a horror film, but what else would you like to see?
Here's something I'd like to see. I'd like to see a haunted house where they're really killing people.
Okay.
Okay, so like a high schooler's like haunted house that like they're murdering people.
Yep, like
Okay.
one person there is actually a murderer.
Oh, okay, I like that. Okay, that's an
Okay.
interesting idea.
I'd like for it to involve a unisex bathroom,
Okay.
Unisex bathroom. Okay.
All right.
and I would love to hear something about Trump.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
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 I like it.
Okay. I think I know how to begin it.
Yeah.
I think I know how to start it.
Yeah.
So I'll take the beginning.
Okay.
I'll take the
Are
beginning.
we cutting the break beforehand,
Yeah,
or are we
we'll-
just diving right to it?
Let's cut to break. But I'll get the middle.
Okay, I'll get the end.
Okay. Yeah,
So, guys, we're going to cut to a interview with Steve Niles, the author of 30 Days of Night that we did last year at Kamikaze, and we'll play it right now, and we'll come back. So, Steve, just jumping right into it, it's October 30th, a day away from Halloween, spooky season. What attracts you about horror as a writer? Like, you know, what inspires you?
You know, I don't really know. I've just always been, ever since I was a little kid, I've just been kind of obsessed with the darker stuff. As far as being a creator, I think I just really enjoy scaring people.
Yeah, give them a good scare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know we all like want to be scared in some way. You know,
I think it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
I actually think it's kind of, it's good for us to be scared in a safe,
yeah,
safe
of course.
scare.
I mean, you know, it's less scary than things in real life.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Yeah. And just a second question. You know, a lot of your work it has 30 Days of Night, vampires. And a lot of creatures like vampires, like zombies. Everyone's like drawn to them now. And what do you think makes them like so interesting? Would you say?
Zombies?
Yeah, or vampires, or just the undead, I guess.
I think I think they're basically a reflection of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really makes them really scary is when a vampire comes after you, they're still essentially humans, coming after you. And it's even worse with a zombie.
Yeah.
'Cause they're just like, I think they represent sort of the mindless crowd, which is, I don't know you, but it's a huge fear of mine.
Right, yeah, like Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
you
getting
know.
stuck. Can you imagine having a whole crowd of people turn on you? And I think the
Again.
zombie fear sort of comes from that.
Yeah. And then, 30 Days of Night, it was an amazing graphic novel. Came out before the vampire trend, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, do you ever miss the days when vampires were a little more,
Scary?
Scary, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I did 30 Days a Night the way we did it. Ben and I were absolutely adamant about making them scary again. I remember, talking about it. We're like, they don't care about you. They see you as nothing but food.
Yeah,
They're
cattle.
essentially land sharks. And so, we went from that right away, just wanting to make them scary because so many of them are just romantic and they're your best friends, and it's a little silly after a while. It's just not scary.
And we're back. So, Woodrow, we have your 3 suggestions: a unisex bathroom, a haunted house where they actually kill people, and has to involve Trump, which is
Has to involve Trump. I
every
already
game
know. I already know how to.
How much time do we have for this?
we have
time in this?
Yeah, we're gonna give ourselves.
How much time do I have?
We're gonna give ourselves 3 minutes.
Okay,
So
so
each
everyone
of us
gets
has
a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's fine. I can do it in a minute.
All right. On the clock, Gene.
Yeah.
All right.
And go.
So the way that this is going to start out is that there's a young couple. Their names are James and Jill, and what exactly they're doing is it's Halloween night. They're driving around. They're unsure of what exactly they should be doing. They've dressed up as the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and his beautiful daughter Ivanka, and it is a couple's costume. And what exactly they're doing is they're driving around and they don't know exactly what to do with their Halloween night. They ran out of parties to go to, and then they go on Twitter and they find out that there is a secret haunted house that they have that if you follow certain clues throughout the city that you can actually gain entrance to this haunted house, and it's supposed to be the best haunted house in the world. They've heard about it for years and they never knew that they could actually get to it. And once they finally find all of these little clues, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt type ordeal in the first maybe 5-10 minutes, kind of making it more like a comedy-esque movie, they finally get to the haunted house. And there you go.
They get to the haunted house and they're, sleep there for the night.
Sleep there for the night. It's a
Yeah.
haunted house.
No, because they're trying to bring out trying to bring out whatever's there. Eh. Let me finish this.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Gene, his thing was that it was a haunted house. They were scaring people.
Okay.
Like a scare attraction.
Like a scare attraction,
Okay.
and then somebody who was working there was murdering people.
All right.
That's
so
what it was.
They sneak into the house. Go with that.
No, it's a scare attraction, so they're invited in.
All right, so they're invited in. Okay.
A quick rewrite. Quick happens all the time.
Okay. And they go in the haunted house. They find one of the clues in the unisex restroom. And in the unisex restroom, there is a transvestite character that gets a knife and sort of threatens them, takes them to the basement, starts doing weird stuff. And just keeps them captive. Diego, it's your turn.
So thank you for that setup. I think
You have a minute left.
Fucking threw him under the bus.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how to save that.
All right.
I'm so sorry. But no, it's
like-
okay.
like
I'll
a
bring it
fucking
back.
garden.
You know what?
I got
know
this.
it. I know how to fix it. I do know
Okay.
how to fix it.
Do you want to save this? Okay.
I do know how to fix it. Okay. So the way that what ends up happening is that this transvestite is a member of the actual a high school group that is actually taking part in, that's setting up this haunted house. Now, while he's there, what he's doing is he's taking them down into this look into the basement area of the house. Now they're seeing all these dead corpses, and they're seeing pieces of flesh hanging and everything like that, and they're thinking that it's one of the great this actually is one of the greatest haunted houses they've ever been to. Then they start noticing that the transvestite starts getting very violent with them. Mm-hmm. They start screaming out for help, and then they kind of see that it's much more of a cult situation, that they're there to actually summon this form of demon. And the only way to do that is on Halloween night, and only on Halloween night they're able to sacrifice the young and the unpure to this demon. And what they end up doing is he then as he's going on, the guy then says, "You're wrong. I do not approve. You're wrong." And what ends up happening is they have to then escape. They have to then escape their way outside of this trap. But once they are able to push their way through this cult-like figure, they then notice that they're inside of this maze, and it's very Saw-esque, where they have to now traverse through this and approach their own demons in order to escape.
Yeah. And that's time.
To be clear, the proper terminology is transgender, not transvestite.
I went with what he gave me. I'm sorry.
I should have corrected him too. So whatever. But, okay. No.
So, would you buy this?
Great Trump accent,
It's a good. You do a good Trump.
You're wrong. How dare you?
but
My daughter is beautiful.
Story sucked. Gene, $1 to you, my friend.
Dude, I threw you a fucking home run. I hit you a home run, and all of a sudden it was and they sleep at the house. What the fuck?
It happens.
Gene, I love you, man, but I had no idea where to go with that.
It's okay. You're still the greatest I have ever seen.
Guys, I'd like to plug something if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead.
That's what we're here for.
Resounding, yes. We for the film this is actually you're gonna love this.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love this. This is an exclusive, folks.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
This is an
I
exclusive.
feel like he's reading an email.
Pulling it up right now. We just signed with Hulu.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, really?
Hey, girl. And then we also just signed with Amazon. Amazon Prime, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, man. It's cool. Amazon Prime right now, actually. Hulu's not happened yet. Amazon Prime right now, you can go and watch it. If you're a Prime member, check it out. It's pretty great. And,
Nice.
yeah, support the film. It'll live there for a long time. Come get it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
No, congratulations,
Yep, so-
man.
That's my plug for the film right now in the middle of this giant campaign push we got
Yeah.
for Halloween.
If we can do anything for you taking out the time right,
Yeah.
and like doing this for us, we can absolutely plug whatever
Yeah.
we need.
Plug away. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to plug? And where can people find
Yeah.
you? Anything else?
Yeah, social media, all my handles, Woodrow the Third. My name is Woodrow Wilson Hancock the Third. You can find me all across the board, Woodrow and then the number 3, third. For IG, Facebook, Twitter. I don't be tweeting much though, gents.
No.
I don't be tweeting much. I gotta be honest.
It's okay.
It's
I
a acquired.
I don't
It
either.
is,
It's
yeah.
fine.
No, it's
I creep on it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
I
what
creep on that tweet.
He just stalks everyone while he's on.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're going with that. But Gene, what have you been working on lately?
Oh yeah, I've been working on a few Asylum films. Assistant editor. The last one I did a few months ago with him was a Lifetime film. I did like a Jew Disaster. I think that was on DVD.
Sorry,
What was it called?
what June?
Oh, it's Geo Disaster. So it's Geostorm. Is their parody.
Good.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. We're launching our Patreon for the podcast. I've just been plugging away.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this podcast, and just been doing some freelance jobs here and there. So,
Are you working with Anthony at all?
I haven't worked on any of worked on any Anthony's projects at Asylum. I see him a lot there, and talk to him, but I haven't worked with him.
I'm still holding him to the fact that he said we can be in Sharknado 6.
Yes,
I will never
I'm holding him to that. When they announce that there is going to be a Sharknado 6, I want you to call him. And
I'm
be
going to tweet him the link to the episode.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, Anthony, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
So how are we going to die by a shark?
But just check out all the Waffle Press stuff because I've been working tirelessly on that.
Absolutely.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah.
What else, guys? Anything else for me?
No, I think I actually.
I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Well,
yeah, we wanted to make sure. Actually, we got all your stuff early, and we finished everything else that we needed from you. So that because you did say that you needed to leave by 7:00,
Right.
and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. If you have another question, I can do it. If not, we're good.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Do you have another question or anything like that?
No, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Everyone, please check out Awaken the Shadowman. Don't forget Hulu eventually, Amazon Prime.
Hulu eventually. Yeah.
Prime right now.
Absolutely.
Anywhere you can rent the movie. Also, we're currently number 1 for the Halloween season on all-time Warner cable set-top boxes across the nation. So if you're watching video on demand for Time Warner, Cox, Comcast, Bright House, Spectrum, it's literally number 1 top new horror.
Absolutely. Go check it out, guys. It's a really interesting movie.
Cool.
So, all right, gents. All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Thank you
the
so much.
pitch.
Of course, yeah. You'll have it in
I
the back
I swear, if I see this on Sci-Fi, I'll be really mad.
Yeah, I wrote every word. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll send
All right,
you
good
the
one.
You have a good
send
one.
you the link when it's up.
All right, for sure. Take care.
All right.
Wilson Hancock, everyone. Let's just wrap up with a couple quick little things, I think. I don't know how much time we got.
You're 42 minutes in. 43 minutes in.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
we're
like-
okay
yeah,
then.
like
Okay,
15.
we're good.
Yeah, like 15.
But just snip around that later, Gene. So, Gene, we got to talk about that pitch for a second, dude.
Dude, what the
What
hell?
happened?
Sorry.
It's okay.
In his defense, I also thought he meant like it was a haunted house that wasn't an attraction. Like it was just a known haunted house that people went to, and then there was just like some psycho who lived there that knew people. Knew
I'm
it was
not gonna lie.
haunted,
I
and-
thought Nick was gonna mess it up. That's not what happened. Nick had a great opening.
That was come on, that was great. No, but the thing, because that's why I clarified though, because I was like, do you mean attraction? Like, so I assumed he meant like a haunted house, like one of the
Like
ones
the
that
escape
are
room
like
you
the
was
like
talking
a like yeah, and that's kind of where I was like aiming it towards, so that way we can have like a full circle of like they're in an escape room. That's why I ended it with the escape room type thing. But yeah, no, and then that's when Gene was like, oh, and they fell asleep, and I was like, you can't do that there. They'll throw you out.
Hey, Gene, close your laptop really quick because I think we're still getting some reverb.
Oh, sorry. Thanks.
Yeah, it's all good. I think we're okay now. I don't think so,
No,
but
we're
that's
still-
okay.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah,
That's all right. No,
okay.
you know what? Oh, there we go. It's gone.
We are not auto-tuned anymore.
That was scary. You know what else is scary, Nick?
Gene's pitch.
No. No, it's gonna segue into horror movies. Horror movies. It's Halloween. It's gonna talk about some of our favorite scary movies. Like literally all of us here. I'm sure we all have some.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have tons.
Like what's
So
a really good horror movie you saw from this year specifically?
From this year?
Yeah, because I think modern horror kind of gets like tossed under the bus a lot. Sometimes, rightfully so. Some of them really feel very similar. Like apparently Annabelle and Annabelle Creation are two different movies. I'm kidding. I like the second Annabelle, but like Blumhouse, they all look very similar.
Yeah,
even the really
absolutely.
good ones. There's no difference between like Insidious and The Conjuring. Really, just like time
yeah,
periods.
more or less.
Both movies I really
Yeah.
like. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they look similar.
You know what the thing is that this like year when it came to like horror films, I haven't seen like one that like absolutely blew me away except for it.
Not Get Out?
You know what? No, even Get Out. You know what? Even Get Out. At no point did I like jump or was I afraid or like did I like go like oh wow that
Get
was,
Out's not scary, but it's
creepy.
damn good movie.
It's a good movie, but nothing like terrified me as much as the way that they pulled off It this year. Like there are legitimately like frightening, like nightmare-inducing scenes in that movie where like me as a grown man, like I had a nightmare over it, and I was like, oh wow, that was a damn good movie.
Yeah,
Like there was a couple of scenes in there where I was like, you know what, that was good. That was really good. And I've seen the movie twice already, and I enjoyed it both times. I loved it. I loved it even more the second time I saw it. So if you haven't seen It, which I have no idea how you haven't, but yeah, go watch it.
I didn't think it was really that scary. I thought it was pretty good, but not.
I
not
don't
that
think
scary.
I don't think it's supposed to be scary yet.
No,
You know what?
It's supposed to be scary.
You know what? But I think
it's a Stephen King book.
I grew up afraid of it though.
Yeah.
Like I always grew up afraid of it. So I mean, even as Tim Curry's like more comedic It, as a kid, I was afraid to go to the bathroom because like I thought it was gonna come out of my toilet and like pull me in.
To the movie's credit, even though it wasn't always something that's super like in your face scary, Bill Skarsgård's It feels more like cosmic. Like
Yeah.
it feels like an evil that's been forever.
Right.
Where Tim Curry's, I think I still might just have a soft spot for his performance.
He's a great.
He's like
clown.
that's a crowd pleasing horror thing.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård's is like eternal evil that has the arch enemy that's
For-
a space turtle.
For it
Which is a
to-
thing.
for
I will
it-
never stop telling people to Google it. It's fucking real. It's insane.
For it to have just been a direct to TV movie that was like aired and like didn't really have like much of a budget to it and everything like that, fucking awesome job. Like,
Yeah.
his It is by far one of like the hands down most traditional like bad guys. That if like people go like, who do you think of like as a scary goddamn clown? He's probably up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, shout out to Tommy Lee Wallace, most underrated 80s horror director for me, at least for America. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is awesome. Fright Night Part 2, which I finally saw for the first time, which is awesome. It, which for its budget is awesome.
Did he do both? He did both parts, or he only did one?
No,
of
he
them?
only did
one?
he did both. He did both.
Okay.
He does a lot of like weirdly forgotten sequels for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, but
So that's
they're
his
good
thing, man.
movies. Yeah,
That's
it's a
his
very specific niche for
He's
me.
got to get a new agent.
Yeah. What about you, Gene? Movies from this year that
I think
like, scared you?
does Split count?
Split counts, yeah.
Yeah, I think
unsettling.
Split. I'll go with Split because there were.
I still haven't seen Split.
Oh, dude, it's fucking awesome.
Wait, no, you know what? But it's already been almost a year.
Yeah.
Go for
It's
it.
on HBO. Dude.
It's you know what it is, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Unbreakable. So
Well,
Oh,
you're gonna
so
have
you
to
already
see it.
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I already know because like it was like on all social media after it came out.
Yeah.
Like if
I
you
still
are on
haven't like
social
posted
media,
publicly about it. I'm just like, no,
Yeah, but
it's too soon.
But
It's too good of a
But
surprise.
Split was like just so creepy. The Beast, I think, and all the personalities, like there's something off about all of them. The fact Anna Taylor-Joy, it's kind of it kind of reminded me of like one of those Telltale games where you have to like choose questions,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
choose dialogue, where she had to like kind of interact with them and kind of survive, and as he was like killing the the other women with her, and slowly turning the beast, and and the fact that it wasn't just a horror film, it was kind of a supervillain origin movie.
To be
Yeah.
totally honest, I really wouldn't mind if Telltale did a horror. Like if they did a horror game.
Yeah,
Walking
The Wolf
Dead.
Among Us.
That's not a horror game. That
Right.
is a detective. That's a detective noir movie.
Okay. All right.
Game. You're a detective who's trying to figure out a murder. That's
Well,
not a horror.
isn't Walking Dead like horror? That's.
Not really. I mean, that's
I
much
mean,
more
it's
of an
not in your
action
face
game.
scary.
It's an
Right.
action game.
I mean, you do actions in it. I mean,
But it's not. But
I wouldn't say it's an action game.
At no point is it like really scary though. I think if they were to like, I think it would be really interesting if they did like a Saw, or like something like
Make Saw interesting
Yeah.
again.
like make Saw interesting again.
Oh, here,
That's
really quick,
the-
because I want to get into
I'm gonna
another
make
discussion
Saw
now about
interesting again.
what defines horror. Because it wasn't really a scary movie, but it was good. Like, what? Like, it's not. It's a horror movie. It's not that scary, but to me, but it's a fucking horror movie.
No, but
you
the
know,
thing is, the reason,
Thing's a horror movie.
the main thing.
The first one, I don't know what the second one is.
Yeah.
It's boring. Sorry to everyone who works on it. You're all good at it.
Right.
Just it's not good.
But really quick, I think a horror film, like, it needs to, I think it doesn't have to like scare you like a jump scare or something, but like it needs to
resonate with you.
Yeah, it needs to resonate. It
stay
needs to
with
make you afraid in some way.
I-
Like, as
I-
long as it makes you afraid, it doesn't matter if it
I
freaks you
feel-
out or whatever.
I feel like a good horror movie doesn't hit you right after you finished the movie. A good horror movie will hit you 3 days later.
Yeah.
A great horror movie will hit you like a week later, where you're like, "Holy shit! I'm actually kind of terrified of the dark."
Yeah.
And like if you close your eyes, like you kind of have like a vague image of like the creature or
Right.
something like that. That's a fucking great horror movie.
Yeah.
Like Freddy Krueger back in the 80s. That was by far some of the great horror
Right.
films.
Yeah.
Wes Craven by far he's the master of horror. I love everything Wes Craven's done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like any of his movies, they frightened me as a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think it's such a broad like subject. Like hey, it's really broad. He doesn't have to be like specifically horrifying. Near Dark, one of my favorite movies ever. It's not scary, but it deals with a lot of horror elements, and I classify it as a horror movie.
Hey, what about Lost Boys?
Lost Boys,
Yeah.
horror
Yeah,
comedy,
but-
horror
but-
action.
But you know what? I do feel like even if it's not like a monster that's going around murdering everybody or like a psychopathic killer, I think that even if it was a psychological thriller or a psychological horror film, like those dilemmas, like they should resonate with you. Whereas in a couple of days later, you should still kind of go like, "Fuck, would I make that decision as well?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I also have fallen in those paths? And every single time you watch the movie, your idea of the movie changes because you're in a different place in your own life. So
Yeah.
that's the greater part about a horror film.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, who's your favorite like horror monster?
The Xenomorph.
Xenomorph.
Yeah,
I only did a fucking 5-part retrospective on the Alien series.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but yeah, fuck yeah, Xenomorph, hands down.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think The Predator.
Nice.
Really? I never
I
took
like
the
Predator.
Predator as being scary.
I don't.
It's not like it's not physically like visceral scary. Like the Xenomorph,
Yeah.
I think it can be
Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, no.
Not after Aliens.
Predator will flat out kill you.
But the Predator fucking eviscerates the entire crew of Commando.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like
All these
fucking-
tough guys.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Maybe not because it's an action movie foremost, but like put that in like real world context. That's horrifying, dude.
I always thought Freddy Krueger was terrifying.
Freddy Krueger's scary as shit.
Like I
I was
always
like,
thought.
you don't even need to defend that. That's
Yeah,
a fact.
I always thought that Freddy Krueger was like terrifying just because of the fact of you were never safe.
Yeah.
Like even if you could try and stay awake, he'd still find a way to get to you.
Yeah.
And like the place where you feel the most safe when you're asleep in your bed, that's when you're most victimized. And I think that's it's so good, and it's really hard to match and stuff like that. The only problem is that they weren't able to match it inside of the remake.
Right.
The remake was really bad.
But the remake did give us Rooney Mara, who is an amazing actress.
She said she hated that movie.
But it gave us her. So
Yeah. Emma, do you have one?
that.
And also Casey Cassidy.
Yeah.
Katie Cassidy was in that movie.
oh my god, really?
Yeah, she's in that
crazy.
movie. Laurel is in that movie. Yeah.
Favorite movie monster?
Yeah.
I think mine. I think mine would be. It's a tie between Michael Myers and The Thing.
Yeah.
The Thing.
Michael Myers
The
and
Thing
The
is
Thing,
one of my
yeah.
top favorite movies. The Thing and Psycho are my two top favorite horror movies. Scary movies. The Thing mainly because it's one of those you don't know where or who or what it could be, and it can always get you. And then Michael Myers just because one time when I was like 9, some dude dressed as Michael Myers chased me down the street, and
shit.
I was not having it. So.
See, I think it would have been scarier if you would have walked. If you would have.
He pulled out the knife, and like my friend and I were going up, and he pulled out the knife, and my brother's a massive Michael Myers fan, so I
Yeah.
kind of understood him, and he pulled out the knife, and I was like, cool, and then I went up to go get my candy, and he started coming after my friend and I was like, no, and I bolted, and I was like, I've seen the original Halloween, like I grit my teeth and bared it. It's a great classic movie, but like I can't deal with Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers is a great story and has great lore to it.
Yeah.
It hasn't been as well treated lately as it should, but yeah, I really do love Michael Myers as like a horror film villain.
Do you want to know my Halloween film trilogy? Like, if I had to pick 3 of those movies and form a trilogy out of them,
Which one?
the original Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and then Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah. Halloween 2 is like not a good Halloween movie, but it's like an interesting movie about trauma, and so I think it's kind of underrated.
Yeah.
But I could talk about horror movies all day, but we don't have all day. It is dark outside, so we need to leave.
Yeah. They're kicking us.
Bye. No. Plugs. Nick.
You can find me on You can find me on the Waffle Press. You can find me on Facebook, everything like that. Also, check out any coverage that we have from Kamikaze that is coming up from this weekend. It'll probably be up shortly after this stuff because Kamikaze would have just passed.
At least one will be up the
right.
same time as this.
Yeah, of course.
Gene. Plugs.
You could find me Gene9892 Twitter, Instagram.
Emma. Plugs. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you, Emma.
No problem. You can find me on Twitter as Stupid Women's Suit, and my Instagram is too complicated, so I'm not going to plug that one.
could they find the Instagram on the Twitter?
No, actually.
No, it was too complicated then too.
No, I keep social medias as social medias. I don't like crossing over unless I really like the picture I just posted.
Cross-platform.
Yeah, don't cross the
Yeah.
streams.
I don't cross the
Don't
street.
cross the Never.
Andrew, thank you for helping out with cameras today. You want to say where people can find you really quickly if you're interested in plugs?
Instagram, Facebook.
Thank you. I'll put a link to your Instagram.
Also, go check out the Patreon, all the rewards, everything else. The link should be below. And if you liked it, subscribe, share it. If you didn't like it, then that was Andrew Santa Cruz who was just talking, and that was his fault.
No, you almost had it.
I almost did.
Like,
Right.
subscribe. If you didn't like and subscribe anyways, because you might find something you do like.
I was so
proud
dropped
of
it.
you.
I dropped it.
You
and
were
I was
winning today.
I was, but
fucking
I
Nick.
fucked up at the end.
Yes, Patreon, retrospectives, Star Wars stuff coming up. Lots of stuff over there. Thank you for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
I fucked it up too because I went for it.